For your health and wellness needs, visit alsherbs.com, ALSHERBS.com, because your health is your wealth. For all your tech support needs, visit ASCS Technical Services at ASCSTS.com. We have on-site service as well as remote support options. Check out BrokeGeniuses.com. Stay in the know. Order some of our latest merchandise as well as use our financial tools to help you on your daily financial journey.
What's going on? What's going on? This is the Broke Genius. This is Wednesday. So we are talking about the most important topic, I think, in America, especially for Black people, which is wealth. We are talking about wealth, okay? Your positive net worth minus your liabilities under your assets. So basically your actual net worth is your wealth. Okay. Now, with that being said, today's topic is not the 1%, but the 0.01%. We're going to be talking about that today. Okay. As well as what is the 1%, because first we got to deal with what is the 1% before we get to the actual 0.01%. Let's break down what is the 1%. So in the articles, all of the articles are from CNBC. This breaks down this article here. Going to post this in the chat here. This actually breaks down the 1%, and I'm going to put this in the description of the video as well. Okay, so on 1% in every state, on average, it looks like it's about anywhere between 300 grand, about 300 to 400 grand. Okay, in California, it's $500,000. Okay, to be in the 1 percentile. Okay, I'm gonna just scan these different states. As you can see, roughly speaking, you know, even in Illinois is 456,000. So, you know, roughly speaking, if you got $250,000 to 300 to, you know, almost $500,000, man, cash net worth, you are in the top 1 percentile. Okay. You know, that just, this is nothing to do with Mississippi. If you got $250,000, you in the 1 percentile. Okay, so this has nothing to do with any race or anything like that. As far as they're not breaking down this in racial groups, this is just cashola, how much money you actually have. If you have $500,000, pretty much anywhere in the country, you're pretty much in the 1 percentile. I mean, safe to say. according to this, because New York and California pretty much they're saying you got to have a $500,000. Even in Illinois, little shy of over under 5 million. I mean $500,000 to be in the 1 percentile. Okay, and this is off of income. Okay, so yeah, this is not necessarily wealth, but this is your income. Okay, now I do count income. I mean, income is definitely important. No doubt, income is very, very important, because the more you make, the more you have to buy assets, the more you have. Like for myself, what I've used in the last 6 months, I've used this time to actually pay off my debts. How I was able to do that was be based off of my income. Okay, I used my income to pay off some lingering debts that I've had and stuff like that on my credit report. So I just got like, I think I got like one debt, and that's my student loans, because I use my income. My income is definitely a part of the wealth strategy. I mean, the more you make, the more assets you could buy. Um, more you know liabilities you can pay off with based off of your income. Okay, so in the 1 percentile, you roughly speaking, general rule of thumb, you make anywhere between $300,000 to $500,000. Okay, you are in the 1 percentile. Okay, you are the highest of value man or woman if you make. I mean, not the highest, because we're actually going to be talking about the highest, but you are a high percentile man or woman if you make $500,000. Make no bones about it. And if somebody says, "What do you think? You're better than me?" Well, my bank account basically says that I'm better than you because I'm in the 1 percentile as far as income. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody. I mean, rule of thumb, don't talk to strangers about politics, money, religion, and also even sex. I mean, relationship topics, or but basically sex, because the thing about it is those topics are very divisive. So you shouldn't even, unless it's your friends or family, you shouldn't even be talking about these conversational talking points to strangers. Because a lot of times that's where you people get involved with people and get in fist fights and all this other stuff. Then another thing is also politics. Do not talk about politics with strangers. Okay. So yeah. That being said, that is the 1 percentile. People that are making $500,000, anywhere between 300,000 and $500,000. You are in the 1 percentile. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the 0.1%, and then we're going to break that down. So this is the 0.01%. Okay. Now see how comparison this is. Okay, this separates 1 percentiles from actually 0.1%, because basically the thing about it is, as you can see, as you can look at the first state on the chart, a 0.01 percentile, you know it got a lot of money, as like basically what is called FU money. They have a lot of FU money versus basically a 1 percentile, a 1 percenter, right? He's got to go up to, he still has to hold on his job, right? He only makes 300 to $500,000 a year. He still, got to zip to work and get there on time. Get his coffee. He's lucky enough to get his coffee, get his little pastry or whatever before he heads into his office. Okay, he has to do that because that ain't enough money to really make it that long with, right? Versus, as you can see, a 0.01 percentile, most likely these individuals are the boss of the 1 percentiles, as far as income. These are, typically CEOs and high level managers, stuff like that. Because yeah, I mean, they, as you're looking at right now, Alabama, to be in the 0.01% is $4 million income, average annual income, meaning every year they're making $4 million. Okay. All right. Alaska 4.8. Now, as I see this, because I'm not, one thing about me is I understand business math very, very well. I might not be very highly skilled in algebra and trigonometry and stuff like that, but I understand statistics. I mean, percentages and law of averages and stuff like that very, very well. So as I'm reading this, I can get an average in my head of what the average income in America to be 0.01%. Okay. So as I'm reading this along, Alaska, Arizona, 5.1 million, Arkansas, 5.3 million, California, 10.5 million, Colorado, 7.5, Connecticut. Wow, Connecticut. Woo, I think I need to move to Connecticut. Mental note, move to Connecticut or travel to Connecticut. See what's going on there. Because obviously, yeah, they are doing it. The 0.01% are pretty much living in Connecticut, as far as I can see, for the most part. Now, yeah, they got a 18.7 million average as far as what is required to be the 0.01% in Connecticut. Delaware, 4.4 million, Washington, D.C., 10.3 million, Florida, 9.5 million, Georgia, 5.4, Hawaii, 4.4, Idaho, 4.8, Illinois, 8.6. Okay. Indiana, 4.4. God, dog. Poor Indiana's, boy. Oh, man. Wow. Even more poor, Iowa, 4.2 million. Okay. 6.9 million in Kansas, 3.7 million in Kentucky, Louisiana, 5.7 million, Maine, 3.4 million. Dang, what's going on in Maine? Must not be that much going on. Wow. Maryland, 6.5 million, Massachusetts, 12.7 million, Michigan, 5.7 million. Dang, I would think this would be lower than Indiana and Iowa, but I mean, I guess the whole state of Michigan is definitely not Detroit. Um, dang, okay. Minnesota, 6.8 million. Mississippi, 3.3 million. Missouri, 5.7 million. Montana, 4.6 million. Nebraska, 5.7 million. Nevada, 10.9 million. Wow. Ooh, dang. Dang, that's pretty interesting. A lot of gamblers, huh? A lot of people making money. Huh. Okay. 10.9 million. Okay. New Hampshire, 7.1 million. New Jersey, 9.9 million. New Mexico, 3.9 million. New York, 15.8. Okay. Now you notice nobody is top Connecticut yet, even New York. 15.8 million with New York. North Carolina, 4.4 million. North Dakota, 8.6 million. Ohio, 4.6 million. Oklahoma, 6.5 million. Okay. Oregon, 4.7 million. Pennsylvania, 6.1. Rhode Island, 6.6 million. South Carolina, 4 million. South Dakota, 6.9. Tennessee, 5.5 million. Texas, 9.5 million. Utah, 6.6 million. Vermont, 4.7 million. Virginia, 6.2. Washington, 7.8 million. Wow, West Virginia. Whew. 2.5 million. Wisconsin, 6.2 million. Wyoming, what the hell is going on in Wyoming? 16.3 million. Wow, okay. So as far as I could see, I need to go to Wyoming. I definitely got to go to New York. I know I need to go to New York. I've been to Cali. Okay, I've talked briefly about California. Wyoming and Connecticut. Okay, and basically California and New York are some of the top states as far as the 0.01%. Okay, so yeah, I need to figure out what, maybe someone is watching this video can tell me why Wyoming is the 0.01% it must be a haven for the uber rich, because here's the thing about the 0.01%. Okay, the 0.01% are the uber rich. Okay, basically, whenever I say uber rich, that means 0.01%. Okay, now the thing about it is, if you got $500,000, you're still considered rich. But I mean, it's like you barely got in, right? You barely got some money, right? You got a little money, right? When you got $500,000, but when you got 5 to 10 to 15 to $20 million, that's considered uber rich. And then you make that every year. This is annual income, okay? So this is not just a one and done thing. These figures that I'm going off is actually annual figures, okay? So make a note of that. Now I'm going to move to this following article, and this reads, I'm going to put this link, before I do that, I'm going to put this link in the chat as well for people to follow along with. I'm going to put this link in the chat. This is the second one. So whenever I say uber rich, that is the 0.01%. Now this third article, let me post this in the chat here. This is going in detail about the 0.01%, the uber rich. Okay. Now this article is from CNBC, the other wealth gap, the 1% versus the 0.01%. Okay. The top 1% isn't doing as well as you think. Although there's a lot of noise about the growing wealth gap between the rich and poor, that isn't the fastest growing money rift in America. It's between those who are merely rich and the super rich. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much people that make just, anywhere between $300,000 to $500,000 are just merely rich versus super rich or uber rich. I know that breaks out the violins, right? Because it's like, I mean, come on, man. You think I really am concerned about the rift between the people that make $300,000 and $500,000 versus people that make, 5 to $20 million a year? I mean, please, man. I mean, like, come on. Like, if you make over $500,000 a year, and you consistently make that, and you're not a millionaire, and you've been making that for more than, like, let's just say a few years, such as like 3 to 4, you need to be like, man, you need to, like, literally have someone come smack you. Okay, because that let me talk about that. Let me back up, man. Because if you make that amount of money, what's going on, Soul Shader? If you make $500,000 a year and you've been making that consistently, this goes out to my friend's ex-wife too, and her friend, by the way. If you make $500,000 or over $250,000. Where did you send this text, Stock Soul Shader? Oh, that one? Oh, dude, you probably reading my brain because that's what I bought in my Robinhood today. I bought 100 shares because my Robinhood took off yesterday. I got into $40. I was positive with my Robinhood challenge. I got back in the $40 mark, which what I started with, and I bought 100 shares of that company there. I actually sure did. Now I don't know where you sent this. Did you send it to my email? Sent it to Patreon? Cause I didn't see anything. I kind of was busy today and didn't really get that much sleep last night because I don't know. I just couldn't hardly sleep. But you know, I stayed home today. I didn't go in the office. But yeah, I don't know what means you sent it. But yeah, it didn't matter because that's the hell what I bought, man. That's stripped out. I swear to God, I bought 100 shares because I was like, man, what should I buy? Because I got out of Zone Media. This was what I had the position in that I made the money off of. That I got in the positive because I literally went from I had my account was $27, and then Zone took off. ZOM, and then it shot up, and then it like flattened, start to flatten out, and then I got out before it flattened out, and basically I got out at just that my account was at $40.40. So you know, I literally today just before the closing bell, I bought 100 shares of X ELA. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, so back to what I was saying. If you make over $300,000 to $500,000 and you've been making this for like 3 to 5 years and you're not a millionaire yet, you need to be smacked because that is enough money. Because I mean, it's people that have made a lot more with a lot less. Basically, it was a guy that let me find this article. It was a guy that he took $5,000 and he literally made. Actually, yeah, I think yeah, I know exactly where it is. But this guy he took $5,000 and he made options trades off Tesla and made $1 million. Okay. So if this dude can make $1 million off $5,000, I know you as a person that makes $300,000 to $500,000 a year should be able to make cross that $1 million mark because you make so much money. I mean, I'm gonna go in on this, okay? Because it's people that are that ridiculous that they actually make that amount of money and they do not cross the $1 million threshold. Like we gonna go in on this. We definitely gonna go in on this. We gonna zero in on this. We gotta talk about this now. Now I gotta find this article. I be posting so many articles, man. God dog, man. I post way too many articles, man. I gotta slow down on the posting because I can't even keep up. So I know other people probably have the same problems like keeping up or whatever. I mean, God dog. Let me see here. Because I know I don't post on my regular page that much. So I mean, partly the reason why I made my Broke Genius page because I got family members that's like Jehovah's Witness and like people that's like they be watching my page and then policing my page and shit like that. So it's like I created my other page. So it's like basically you know yeah, they don't really put two and two together that it's me. So I put all of my like funny memes or kind of like explicit means on my Facebook Broke Genius page, because I got some PC ass family members and friends and shit. It ain't even the friends, it's just pretty much my family. I mean, I respect them, so I try most of the time not to post stuff that will offend anyone. Let me see here. Now, I don't know what the hell. Where did I post that? I might have posted it. I must have posted it on my YouTube community tab. Then let me see where I posted this damn thing, because this was like, man, this is like a prime example of literally, like, if you make more than, even if really in theory, if you make more than 100 grand a year, I mean, basically I went in this on my book, because basically that's enough money that for you to actually kind of go up the millionaire savings plan. Okay, the more you make, if you're following the millionaire savings plan, the more basically you have to buy assets to basically invest and whatnot, and go on from there. I mean, it just goes without saying. Let me just search for this. I don't know where I put that article. But you know what? Maybe I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what happened to that article. Let me see here. I mean, basically, if you make that amount of money, if you making $250,000 to $500,000, I mean, you should be a millionaire within at least no less than 5 years, because that's enough money to do that. That is more than enough money. Even if, I mean, just following just following the millionaire savings plan, basically you can basically what if you make 300,000, let's just say $300,000 a year. If you make $300,000 a year, that's enough money to basically what you're making, what about a little shy of $30,000 a month. You're making a little shy of $30,000 a month. Yeah, it's something going on with that. I got to look more into that, but yeah, if you're making $30,000 a month, okay, minus taxes, like 20 something $1,000, right? So with the millionaire savings plan, you basically start off your income, literally just your income is literally step 6. Every month you're on step 6. Now, here's the thing, a lot of times where I talked about before, where people have so high of taste, or they live, their expenses are so high, it robs them of future wealth. It robs them of being able to get to be a millionaire or above, right? But literally, if you making $250,000, $300,000, even especially $500,000, your every month, like I mentioned in this book, if you already making over $100,000 a year, I mean, just with your income alone, you should be able to be a millionaire, because I mean, what? Like the first month, you literally can get like If you want to buy stuff so much, you can literally get like 6 items, and then I mean, the next month you basically start off. If you save anything from the first month, the next month you what? You go up at the very least. You should be able to get to what? In about 3 months, you should be able to get to step 7. Okay, so I mean, the thing about it is that's enough money for you should be able to do something with it. Because see, here's the thing: this is what stops a lot of people from making money, to actually getting high up the charts, right? One of them is stagnation, just being stagnant. Like my uncle, my rich uncle, he's very stagnant. I told him today, I'm like, you don't want to give no money up to nobody or whatever, but you steady giving them mortgage companies your money because you haven't paid off your mortgage. Why hold a mortgage and pay, make them rich, So basically, if you making $250,000, 300,000, just $300,000, literally your income alone every month is step 6. So saving just a couple months, you should be able to get to step 7, which is $64,000, and definitely step 8 with a little bit of discipline. Because see, here's the thing: when you're another thing that a lot of people, I'm gonna share my screen. A lot of people, I'm gonna show my millionaire savings plan. A lot of people, this is what they do. They basically they don't also want to get into business. It's some people, man, they want to be an employee for the rest of their life. They're okay with it. They have no problems with it, right? Now, the thing about it is, okay, that's fine, but where does that leave you? What do you want to do? If you want to actually be a millionaire from your job is going to have limits. Unless you are the freaking CFO or CEO or high level executive, such as the person signing people's checks, such as the uber rich with the 0.01%, your income alone is not gonna do it. Okay. But if you just do something like, if you're, let's say, a corporate accountant, and you just pretty much just said, okay, I know my job. I mean, I make about $200,000 a year or whatever. But I'm following. I'm having limits. I'm living in New Jersey. My expenses is kind of high, but I still have a little money left over at the end of every month. So what can I do with this money? You start a freaking tax office. You're a freaking corporate CPA. You start a freaking tax office. You get a little small little location in like maybe a poor part of town. Get a little location, get an office, and then you set up where you only open for like maybe 6 months. You start at about November, around this time. You open up, you clean up the office and make sure everything's all nice, and you leave the lights on every night. You put all your advertising in your window, and then you have training sessions where you train actual tax preparers, and then you have this tax preparation business, and you do rapid refunds and all of this stuff, and that rapid refund loans, and you have enough capital to actually start this off. And all of it takes is, when you get off work, you're not going to be able to just go home and go to sleep. You're going to have to go to your office and actually work. You're going to have to do the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. type of lifestyle very briefly, because you only got to do it for like maybe 4 or 5 months. Not even, because after you train your staff, you basically get somebody to run your office for you. Okay, you get somebody to do training day, and you train them for like, good 90 days on how to run the office. Uh, run them down a job scope description, and basically get them to know the job in and out, the business in and out, and then tell them only contact you if you need, if it's an emergency, or if it's just a question that you got to ask, just text me. If it's really not urgent, just email me. And basically you can have a little tax office, and then your tax office alone will net you in the tax season probably almost half of your income, if not most of your income for the year. Now you got extra money, and you can invest it in something else. Maybe you can get another location the next year, or you can do something where you could buy a rental property, a multi-unit building, and collect rent and make more money. But a lot of people, they don't want they don't want to touch anything other than their job. They don't even really like their job, but they definitely don't want to deal with the public and business, and actually being out on their own, and dealing with strangers and stuff like that. That type of stuff really, really irks people. Like, for example, my sisters, they really don't want to deal with anything involving any business world. My sister, God rest her soul, she really didn't want to be involved in anything related to business. She just wanted to work. Typically a lot of people are like that. And it's like, I say all of this to say, basically, that those two things, stagnation and not wanting to get out of your comfort zone, it really shorts a lot of people. It shorts a lot of people's future and whatnot. I actually, what I did, because I put this branding here, I didn't share my screen. So I think let me go back to that and share my screen. I'm still a noob with this freaking StreamYard crap. But I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, like I was saying, if you make $250,000 to $500,000 in 4 or 5 years, and you still not a millionaire, you need to be smacked. Okay, you need to be bent over a couch and let some like chick with a freaking leather suit smack you upside your rear end. Okay, because that's enough money. Like I said, I mean, every month you're on step 6. So after a couple months, you should be on step 7. And you ultimately, before you even start, let's say you even started, you say, okay, I'm gonna start this 11-step millionaire saving plan. You're gonna basically get to be able to get on step 8 very quickly, if not step 9, because ideally, before you even start, you probably already have, probably already on step 8. You might already be on step 9, because some people, I mean, I just mentioned income. I mean, your 401k alone probably is at step 10. I mean, you probably, if you've been working there for a while, you already got some type of 401k and got a lot of money in there, because you contribute, and you're a high income earner. So I mean, but we don't count the 11-step millionaire savings challenge. Is not the plan is not basically it's not based off of your 401k. You don't count. But I mean, just roughly speaking, even just on cash on hand, just saving, probably already have at least $50,000 saved. Okay, so you should well enough be able to get to step 8, and at least step 8 very quickly if you make that amount of money. So it's like all you have to do is get to 3 steps, because it shouldn't even be that much of a challenge if you make $500,000 a year. That's what I'm saying. Like, um now, some people might not have the benefit of being able to necessarily move to a cheaper area and stuff like that. But you got to think to yourself, I mean, why are you not able to get to, be at least a millionaire, if not better, to get yourself up? Because money makes more money. Okay, that's generally how it works. That's a rule of thumb. Money makes more money generally. Okay, money recruits more money. That's the overall underlying idea of wealth. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this article. I'm going to go back to this article, right? And I'm going to continue to read this article. Okay, so from an economic perspective, the most dramatic wealth gap is between middling millionaires who have seen only modest gains and the booming billionaires who now seem to divide economic gravity. It's between the guy making $300,000 who still feels poor and the man who made $37 million a day for a year. God, wow, $37 million a day for a year. Wow, that is incredible. Both are lumped together by politicians, the media, and even economics as the rich or the 1%, who are gaining at the expense of everyone else. But a new study by a top economist gives us the clearest picture to date of the wealth gap among the wealthy. Emmanuel Saez, an economics professor at the University of California, Berkeley, who is the leading expert on top incomes. I need to freaking we're both educating ourselves. So I'm gonna put his name in the chat. We gonna research this guy because I need to know about this guy right here because they said he is one of the top economists as far as the high earners in the United States. We gotta find out about this guy. Okay, we gotta look this guy up and see what it is about this guy or whatever. See if he has any articles and whatnot. See any type of maybe see if he has some public lectures online. We definitely need to find out about this guy. Okay, so he's at the University of Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley. Okay, all right. So we're gonna go back to this article. Okay, gonna go back to this article here. So who he's leading who is a leading expert on top incomes, and Gabriel Zucman, assistant professor at the London School of Economics and a visiting scholar at UC Berkeley, found that top 1% is found that the top 1% is really two groups. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I started off talking about the 1%ers. Okay, and then I got into the 0.01%. And this is the other guy. This is assistant professor. Now this article is from 2014, so I wouldn't be surprised if this guy and then also this guy are already this guy here is probably maybe not so much the assistant anymore. He's probably a adjunct professor at this point. So we're gonna go back to this article, and those two guys are considered experts in the field of the top 1%ers. So they're basically saying that they pretty much narrowed this group down from just two groups. You got the 1%ers and then the 0.01%ers. Okay. So first, that it continues to read. First, there are those at the bottom of the 1%. Those are the folks who are worth single-digit millions, around 7 million or so of the latest Fed survey. The people between the people between the top 1% to 0.5% have seen their share of national wealth remain flat for the past 20 years. Their share of wealth pick pie is essentially the same as it was in 1995. Even though those who are between the top 0.5% to the top 0.1% have barely seen any increase in their share of wealth. The big winners are those in the top 0.01%. Okay, these folks have a net worth of more than $100 million, have seen their share of wealth more than double since 1995. Like I said, more money makes more money. Okay, from around 5% to just under 12%. Over the past half century, they have nearly quadrupled their share of wealth. In other words, the 0.01% is leaving the 1% in the dust. How are they doing it? The top 0.01% are stock market winners. Okay. All right. Stop the show. Stock market winners. They ain't say real estate. They didn't say anything other than stock market winners. Okay, what do I talk about? Primarily talk about stocks. Now I do dabble in real estate, but every dog has to have his doghouse, and it's nothing stopping me from I have big aspirations. Okay, I can take the real estate and I can get me a company, get my company off the ground, and then next thing you know, I'll be on the stock market. My real estate will be on a REIT. Okay, but the thing is that yes, they said that these gentlemen and women have made their money in being stock market winners. Okay, let me freaking put that in a big ass freaking banner so you can see that they were stock market winners. Okay, that is the key. Okay, when I have these long, I've had these long discussions. That's what I'm discussing. I'm discussing how to be a stock market winner. Okay, because that's what these ladies and gentlemen have been that's are the uber rich, the 0.01%. Primarily that is where they made the most of their money. Okay, being stock market winners. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to this article and read some more of this article. So let's see, where did I leave off at? Okay. Let's see here. Stock market winners. That's where I stopped at. Okay. Yeah. CEOs, bankers, entrepreneurs who are riding financial markets to outsize gains. The rest of the top 1% are often just mere wage earners. A similar pattern is emerging with incomes, though it's not a dramatic. The share of income going to those between the top 0.1% to the top 0.01% has tripled since 1980. But the income share for those between the top 1% and the top 0.5% is up a far more moderate 50%. Wealth and income are both becoming highly concentrated among the very tiny slice of the super rich. We shouldn't feel sorry for this lower upper class. Lower upper class. Wow. I mean, the thing about it, man, it's like, dang. I mean, You got rich people like talking about like other rich people, the lower upper class. I mean, that is hilarious. Okay. Um, wow. So basically let's continue to read this article here. Finish it. It doesn't. It's not that long. It basically think I only have like a couple paragraphs and that's it. Okay, but we also shouldn't lump all one percenters in the same bucket, especially when it comes to setting the policy or debating wealth in the media. Mark Zuckerberg and his accountant may both be one percenters, but financially they are different as the 1% and the middle class. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so yeah, I mean basically, like I say, I mean there's two basically types. There's two types of one percenters. Okay, there's basically two types. The 1% percenters and 0 point, basically the 0.01 percenters. Okay, they're still you still rich being a one percenter, but you can't even hang. Like it's like having a it's like being in a video game where you beat the video game, but then they ask you, do you want to start the game over to medium or hard? And it's like, you have to start the game over again and then do the hard level. It's like, I mean, that's what this is like. And then also another variation is like, okay, if you are a one percenter and you make, you got, you're a millionaire, right? Because they're talking about basically people that are like 0.5 percenters, right? Where they're 0.05 percenters. They make like, they have like $10 million, on average, right? And they can't even hang with these billionaires, right? They can come to an office party, but after the office party, they can't go get on their public. They don't have a public private. They don't have a private jet to fly to Maui for the weekend. They just don't have it. They would have to get on a commercial flight on an airline. So one percenter can't even hang with a 0.01 percenter. It's just two different worlds. So that's basically what I was talking about. You gotta, I mean, I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna look at these, I'm gonna look at this video and when I'm done with it, and I'm not done talking, but I'm gonna look at this video and I'm gonna definitely research those professors, because if those professors are the top um researchers and experts on top earners, I need to see what they're talking about. I need to look more into the rabbit hole as far as what they're talking about. But I mean, I already know. I've been researching, so I started this whole financial journey back in 2008. Okay, very similar to what BGS Immoral was saying. He said he started to research back when the market collapse happened, but he was trying to figure out. He was trying to go deep in the rabbit hole. Me, I was just trying to find out who was the winners and losers in this. He was trying to find out maybe more in detail what things was involved. But I was trying to find out, why did people win? Why did people lose in this 2008 market collapse? Why did people sign up for these mortgages? How did people become vulnerable in this situation? And then why did I become vulnerable in it? Why did I why am I the person that getting in line, filling out an application for a job and it's 300 other applicants? I mean, I was trying to figure out, what was this all about? Why is there always, these black swan events that the market collapsing? And what is CDO or a derivative stock, right? What is a mortgage backed security derivative? What is these things that these people were talking about? And as I began to research and ask questions, I started to figure out things to answer my questions, and my journey started there. That's when because basically 2008 was the period of time where I separated my parents from what I learned from my parents, and I started to pick up books and I started to research and educate from other financial experts on what needed to be done, what were general education talking points on how to deal with like personal finance, what should be done in business and things of that nature. I started to take that journey back in 2008. That's when that all started. I basically came to the understanding that my parents, they didn't know themselves. That's why they worked jobs. That's why they were, my father was a subcontractor for all those years. They just didn't know. They did very, better than somebody that, probably lived in the projects, but they hit the middle class, and then they hit that middle class wall, and then it stopped there. Whereas like I knew I didn't want to be middle class. I didn't want to just stop and just be working for the rest of my life and just wondering why have I been working for the rest of my life. I wanted to figure this out. I wanted to figure out what could I do to try to, make myself better, in this financial world that we live in. Now, it didn't hit me until I wrote this book, until I actually came up with this idea. I still didn't figure it out until I actually came up with this plan, because I started to educate myself, and I came to the understanding of different books that I've read and authors and financial gurus. Their plans didn't work for me, and I had to create my own plan. And this was what helped me. The Millionaire Savings Plan is what ultimately helped me. Where and also, don't get me wrong, my job helped me too. My incomes, my business, side businesses helped me as well. Without that, I wouldn't be able to, like I say, make the money to pay my debts off and save and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, my little meager, modest little income, it definitely helped. But this plan, without this plan, I could have probably even made 100 grand, and I would be a hamster in a hamster wheel, because ultimately this plan, this actual strategy that I wrote the book on, this helped me become the richest person I've ever been in my entire life. I have various different um you know assets that I've never had before in my life. I've never saved as much as I've actually saved in my life. I'm able to basically benefit from this actual plan that I started. Other people's plans, it did not work for me. Okay, it just didn't. I got the education from those financial gurus and everything, but their plans didn't ultimately work for me. I basically used a little bit of those systems that I learned and I read, and I added it to my system, but basically it still didn't work for me. Because the thing about it is, I think the reason why, like for example, the baby steps don't work for me is because with the Millionaire Savings Plan, you use your income or whatever you make to leverage. So the baby steps with the Dave Ramsey plan is you just save, you just literally start with step one, right? Right. My system, you start with step one, which is $1,000. And then as soon as you save step one, you just put all your money, everything you go, you everything, your shirt, your children's shirt, everything in your house, you put it towards your debt. My system doesn't do that. My plan does not, it doesn't work like that. My plan is a slow, gradual, aggressive debt payoff plan, such as like starting with like five, you just basically start with a debt snowball, whatever you can afford. Now, if you can afford to pay $1,000 a month, if fine. If you can, whatever you can afford to pay off your debt without really overextending yourself, you can do that in my plan. So, for example, you can start off with like $500 a month towards your debt in a debt snowball. Basically, um, you would start from the smallest debt to the highest debt and pay it off. And also, you want to call the actual company that you have the debt off of and then try to negotiate a settlement, because basically a lot of the debts that I had, they were from, third party debt, buyers, basically collection companies. I mean, call them. They like, I owe like $700. They like, all right, you just give us 300 and something dollars, and we'll just call it even. So instead of paying $700, I just negotiated 300 and having only paid 300, a little shy of $400 to pay the debt off. So I mean, whatever you can pay with that $500, you pay that, but you don't over leverage yourself. You don't put this big ass, you don't get a big old garbage bag like a hobo and then just pay all your debts off every month, or pay as much as you pay. Like, that's not wrong with that, right? But it's different with my plan, because my plan consists of enriching yourself and then also paying your debts, because that money that you have, you put it towards your steps. So step one, $1,000. Step two, $2,000. Step three, $4,000. And then the more you save, right? So let's say you get to where you have, basically step four, you have 8,000, and then past the $8,000 mark, you're using that money, and then you're also giving yourself a reward after each step. This is also important because that gives you some type of motivation to get past that step. So once you do that and you got the money from each step, you're gonna want to put more towards your debt. So if, let's say, you in theory have $50,000 worth of debt, you're gonna save like, nobody, no tomorrow, to get higher up the steps. And then each that snowball you have, you're gonna when you get higher up the steps, such as like past step 4 and 5, instead of paying $500 a month, you should be ultimately able to pay $1,000 a month. So if you just have, let's just say, no matter if you have multitude of debts, like more than five or more, or just one debt, you just put $1,000 toward that debt, because you work in the 11-step millionaire savings plan, and you're getting higher up the steps, you're gonna increase it. So let's say you get to step 6, which is $32,000. So now you got even more money. You're enriching yourself, okay? And because basically my goal is to be a millionaire. My goal wasn't to be like, I mean, it's my steps, my 11-step millionaire savings plan ain't really that much different than Dave Ramsey. It ultimately, like, his last step, or whatever, his last baby step, is to actually ultimately be wealthy and give and all of that. It's really the only difference is just the way I construct my plan is ultimately one step at a time. You're enriching yourself, And upon enriching yourself, make no bones about it, you got more money. You got more money to pay your debts off. I mean, one is gonna outdo the other regardless, because assets over liabilities is your net worth. Okay, so when you're basically, these 11-step millionaire steps are going to increase your, basically net worth one step at a time. So the more, basically assets you have, the less liabilities you're going to have, because, like, for example, once you get past 6 and 7, instead of paying $1,000, you got $64,000 in the bank account. So you should be able to pay $2,000, $3,000 a month to ultimately being aggressive toward paying your debts off. You should be able to do that, because you got enough money to pay for your current expenses. You got $64,000 in a bank account, and you're trying to get to step 8, which is $128,000. The more you basically get higher up the steps, at step 8, you got $50,000 student loan debt. Ultimately, you've been paying them a month, every month, consistently, and plus you've been paying more than your minimum amount. Of course, you can, ultimately at that point, let's say your balance is only 30,000 because you've been paying them, consistently for a year or two, right? Now you can call the loan company, the mortgage loan company or whatever provider that you have, and basically call them and negotiate a settlement. Okay, that $38,000 balance you have, now ultimately you can contact them, and then that, basically they're like, all right, cut us a check for 25,000 and we'll call it even. Okay, this is why my plan, it makes more sense to me in my mind, because ultimately, you know, the thing is that the problem is not so much the debts are a problem, but the problem is, lack of wealth. Okay, lack of resources and stuff like that. You gotta deal with that first, in my opinion. You gotta, like, my millionaire savings plan deals with both. It deals with the lack of wealth, the lack of, of wealth, and then also your debts. Okay, the lack of assets, it deals with that, and it deals with your debts. So you're not just, cause see, here's the Dave Ramsey thing, right? Okay, you log jam in your life. Okay, you just, okay, eating rice and beans and rice and paying all your debts off. Okay, struggling to do all that, and then also, here's another thing about debts and all, and money. That money you have, I know people don't like to talk about or think about it, or it's quote unquote slave talk, but you can take your money and leverage it to make more money. Having having an investment mindset or an investor mindset and a business mindset, and taking that money and then ultimately using it to make more money, so you can ultimately pay off your debts. You can leverage your money that you have right now, as well as pay off your debts, slowly, and get to the point where one overrides the other. Once you save so much money, you ultimately will have more money to pay your debts in the end. That one is gonna, deal with the other, versus, if I follow the baby step, I mean, basically, I would just be what? I would just be living in a ragtag apartment, and I'm heaving bricks at my student loan debt, and I'm living in an apartment, right? Well, I'm smarter than that. My dad is smarter than that. My mother is smarter than that, and I definitely am smarter than that. I'm not no one trick pony, or no one track minded, imbecile. I know enough to buy real estate, okay, or even buy stocks, leverage my money with stocks or real estate or whatever the case may be, turn $1,000 into 10,000 or at least 2,000, and then use that money to basically leverage to make more money and then pay my debts off. I don't have to just, be living in some one bedroom or studio apartment, just paying hovering bricks at my debt, 1 month at a time or whatever the case may be. I'm off. I don't disagree with anyone that says that works for them, or that's something that they want to do and they like it. I wish you the best, but I would rather deal with all my problems at one time. And my plan, my millionaire savings plan that I wrote a book about, that I created, one night in my sister's basement, trying to get my life back together. You know, I created something that will deal with all my problems, not just, one of my problems, which would be debt. This deals with all my problems, and that's why it works. So um basically, that's that in a nutshell. But yeah, back to the one percenters. Okay, I'm talking to my $350,000 guys and girls. I mean, basically top earners, right? um your lawyers, your accountants, high level accountants, corporate accountants, doctors, dentists, engineers, software developers, software engineers. If you can't make $1 million with three, four, $500,000, man, I don't know who I don't know what's wrong with you. I think it, at some point you need to go talk to somebody. You need to go seek help, because that is enough money. You got people out here like myself. I don't even make $100,000. Okay, I've showed what I'm. Well, I've talked about how much I earn and everything like that. But the thing about it is, I don't even make $100,000, and I'm performing miracles one step at a time, right? So if you're making three, four, $500,000, because see here, I'm gonna add another reason why you guys are stalling and stagnant. In my uncle, now my uncle is like this. My uncle literally is like this, right? He don't trust people, and he's got the wrong people on his side. So he keeps talking about he's got some LLC with some real estate investor or some real estate guy, real estate broker. And he's like, he keeps telling me he's not doing nothing. He ain't making no moves. He, blah blah blah. I'm like, why do you have somebody that's putting a wall towards your future? And this man is my uncle. He's 60 some years old. I'm like, why do you keep talking about him? Yeah, I mean, exactly. Because see, here's the thing. Like, if you got hundreds of thousands of dollars saved up and all of that, I mean, he got the wrong person that he's in business with. I said, man, you need to leave that dude alone, man. Because see, here's the thing. This is what he's not understanding. He would rather be stagnant. He got his freaking nephew right there. All he got to do is basically trust me somewhat, and I can make his freaking old crusty ass some money. And my young crusty ass, you know, young old crusty ass some money at the same time. But see, he doesn't whatever reason, and I understand. Okay, I understand maybe his vantage point, but the thing is, a lot of people, they have trust issues, as well as they don't have the right people around them. Okay, that's another reason why these one percenters be stagnant, right? Because 0.01%, they got a whole bunch of they not only have a whole bunch of people around them, they employ a whole bunch of people around them. Because see, here's the thing, this is what I'm starting to notice, Soul Shader. You have to be you have to have the art of human resources. I've always said I need to learn a lot more about human resources and human capital, because here's the thing about human capital, that the 0.01% get, and they get well. They understand that they might not be the smartest, or they might not, like you say, have the best creativity and vision, right? But they can hire some people they will pay the people that have those creativities and have that vision, right? They'll pay them, and then they will be happy, the people that they pay will be happy from them, from getting employment, and then they'll make the money from the creativity and the vision. That's what my uncle doesn't get. My uncle, being a one percenter, he ain't even no one percenter. I'm gonna tell you that. Like, he's my rich uncle, but he ain't no one percenter. My uncle don't make no goddamn 300 of 400, $500,000 a year. Hell no. My uncle make like probably 20 grand more than I make, maybe 15. But he makes money off of other things. He got real estate property that he collect rent off of. But he ain't, goddamn one percenter. But he saved enough money to where he's got damn near $500,000 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he don't know, he's still stagnant with that little amount of money, because he's scared to lose it too. Okay. That's another thing you could say. They scared to make moves. It is fear. Whereas the 0.01 percenters, they have been able to leverage past that. They're on autopilot, where these one percenters, they're still stagnant. Okay, they still got all kind of issues. Really need to go sit on somebody's couch, because they got mental blockages. Because, see, here's the thing, like, all you got to do is have an human resource mindset, right? So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, you gotta be able to leverage people. For example, let's say you, Soul Shader. You say you know how to find real estate wherever you live, or a real estate guy or whatever, and you in California, and I wanted to tap into California. Or let's just say, no, you in Chicago, and I live in LA, and I got three, 400, $500,000. Okay, and I want to tap into some real estate opportunities in Chicago. Well, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna draw up a contract, and now I'm gonna have you draw up a contract, because you're doing business with me, and then I'm gonna have my attorney look over it. Okay, or or I'll look over it, and it's like, basically it'll be like, okay, well, all right, Soul Shade, I need you to find me. I'm looking for a single family home, 4 bedroom, at least one bath, and yeah, broke genius. It'll be just $500. That's my fee for a single family homes. For multi-unit buildings, commercial, it's negotiable, but it's might be like $1,500 or something like that for a fee to find a property. Okay, and its parameters, such as, like, it's got to be in good condition. Has to be like, I'm looking for no more no less than no less than a C grade property. Okay, you're like, okay, 500 bucks. So over the course of maybe, let's just say, a month or so, you send me property listings to my email. You already draw up a contract, and I ain't even got to look over it for no attorney, because that's step two. Okay, but step one, you just a bird dog for me. You just finding me real estate. Okay, $500. You send me a property, I agree upon it. So I contact the realtor, or I have you negotiate, with the owner or whatever, and then well, that's kind of wholesaling. Bird dog don't do all that, because but bird dog ain't gonna cut themselves out like that. But basically, you find a property that basically I could purchase, right? So whatever, however means that I'll purchase it, right? Because bird dogs, pretty much, they work with wholesalers. Okay, so those are off of the market properties. So you find me a property, you send it to me, and then I negotiate with the wholesaler to buy it. You get your $500. Now here's the thing: you also not only a bird dogger, you're a GC. You're a general contractor, which means you can pretty much oversee a project, a rehab project for a property. So I'm like, okay, Soul Shader. Now this is where the attorney might come in. Pretty much, it will. I would recommend to come in. I'm like, okay, I need a single family home, same thing, 4 bedroom, 1 bath. But not only do I need you to find the property for me, I need you to oversee the rehab and repairs of the property. Now, this ain't no flat fee type of thing that you probably, because it won't be very fair for you. You'll be like, okay, well, I need a percentage. If you're gonna do a fix and flip, I need a percentage off of this fix and flip. I need about 10% of whatever you sell this house for. Okay. And that's how you make it on the back end. Or you could be like, you know what? I need It's just a flat fee. I just need to oversee this project. I'm gonna need about, this project is gonna probably take about 2 months. I'm gonna need about $10,000. You're like, okay, all right, 10,000, okay. So you like, okay, you get your contractors, your tradesmen to walk through this house, and you determine it's gonna be about $20,000 to fix up this house. Okay, so what do I do? I already got the house. I purchased it. The house is already mine. So basically, I deal with that, and I don't. It's no way for me to really get thrown under the bus. How I can get thrown under the bus is if you, because I gotta wire you money to give to your tradesman. So do I give you 20 grand all at once? No, I send you $5,000, okay, at a time. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you $5,000 four times. So I give you $5,000, and then you showing me video picture of what you done for the project. Each time I give you $5,000, you're showing me to this a finished project of that house. That's how you do it. That's how you conduct business. But see, my uncle, he don't know that. He don't know that type of stuff. All he has to do is do stuff like that, and he could make money, but he's stagnant, right? Now with the markets, he could do the same thing actually. And I haven't, you know what? I'm gonna talk to him about that, because see what he can do is this is like this white guy I talked to at a bar. I told him, I said, I could beat your broker. Okay, whatever he said, his broker gives him like 5%. But see, the thing about it, the reason why I didn't feel comfortable doing it, because you can kind of get involved in some problems, because the thing about it, I didn't really know how I would actually do that, without drawing red flags with the banking system, as far as I'm wire transferring, thousands of dollars to his account, or anybody else's account or whatever. I just didn't really know how to do it. But let's just say, because he was complaining about his 401k losing money. I said, I mean, but see, he won't do it, right? But I mean, I wouldn't even ask him, because I know he wouldn't do it. But what I could do is he can give me 50 grand, and I could trade for him and make him money, and then I'll make a little commission off of it, and then he'll have some more money, and then I could possibly grow that. But see, here's the thing: you got to trust people. And it's like, people have trust issues. A lot of times people have trust issues and stuff like that. They don't really know people, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, one thing about me is I don't need your damn money. So you got to deal with people that don't need your money. See, like, I'm a person that I don't need your money, because I already see my vision. I already know what I'm doing. I do what I recommend for other people to do, or if someone needs help in doing it, I already do it. So I might not do it. I might not have the amount of money that other people have to implement things, but I'm already doing it on a small level, where it's like, uh, other people, whatever they got, they got. You know, I don't dwell on what other people have like that. You know, so it's a lot of scammers and stuff out here. You know, I understand. You know, and there's people that don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. You know, but you know, like I say, the 1%ers, that's the problems that they have, why they can't get to the 0.01 percenters, you know. I mean, to that level, you know, because it's a big leap, because being a 1%er to going to that level to being a 0.01 percenter is like a $10 million jump, because a 1%er making $500,000 a year, even making $1 million a year, is nothing compared to somebody that makes, you know, 50 million, $100 million a year. You know, it's nothing to them, you know. So, but you know, I'm gonna close this out. You know, this was another good one. I hope a lot of people gain something from this actual live stream. I'm gonna close this on out, and I'm gonna finish it off, and gonna definitely, I'm gonna research these professors and see what they're talking about. Um, you know, and hopefully I can get to at least the 1% my damn self. And I definitely ain't gonna have no problems like that, man, because you know, I'm trying to be 0.01%, you know what I'm saying? For sure. But yeah, later.